Right. Welcome to Poems from the Heart, Poet and Author Interviews. I'm your host, Lisa, and this is also your host, Cristal. We're both authors and poets, and we've done work with Radhaa Publishing House. We are interviewing one another about the upcoming work we have for Poems from the Heart, which is so exciting. I'm so happy to be a part of this collaborative book with you. And I know that you've done other work with Radhaa Publishing. In 2019, you were a part of the book Awakening Starseeds. So first, I'd like to just hear about what is your message that you are getting out into the world, especially starting with Awakening Starseeds. What was your work like, and what message are you sharing with the world?
Okay, great. Nice to be here, and it's nice to finally see you in person.
You
Thank you.
too.
Okay, and congratulations with your new baby.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Such an
welcome.
exciting time.
So, my chapter has a great deal to do with my journey into motherhood and a lot of the challenges that I faced. The Usually when people have like a profound awakening is because we've been through some type of trauma, something like super like a crisis, like an existential
Hmm.
crisis.
Yes.
And I really went through that with me and my husband separating at the time, and just the stress of so many things hitting me at once, and it was my second baby, and my other one is still two, just turning three, and just to all the challenges with not one baby but two, and still having to work and school and figuring yourself out, and the postpartum, and the everything. And
Mhm.
what happened with me is, in the hospital they called it stress. They just said that I was under a lot of stress, and I literally lost all control of like my whole body. It's like I was just laid out like on my
Mhm.
sister's bathroom floor when I went to go visit her one day. It
Mhm.
started with like bouts of vomiting, and it was I I projected, I astral projected.
Mm.
At the time, I didn't know what that was. So of course I freaked out. I'm like, why do I see myself from way over there? Like, it was
Oh
crazy.
my gosh.
Yeah, so I ended up in the hospital, CAT scans, MRI. They're like, she's fine. We don't know what's wrong with her. And I got up out of nowhere. I just got up and started walking around, talking around to everybody like nothing. And the doctors and the nurses were like, what? What is happening? Because when they brought me in there, my sister, the EMTs, my mother showed up, my sister, whoever, to my sister's house, they would try to talk to me, nothing would come out. Kind of like like someone that has autism that's nonverbal, and it's just like grunts or moans,
Hmm.
and that's not me. I'm very vocal, I'm very opinionated, I'm very expressive.
Hmm.
So there was definitely something happening, and just being able to take that experience and piece it together to make like a new foundation and a new me, essentially, and
Wow.
grow from that, and be able to build new relationships with not only myself but my kids, the forgiveness that I had to have for their father,
Wow.
and just a lot of things. So my chapter was about being a mom, and like it's a blessing, but it's very hard.
Yes.
So that was my contribution to the book.
I have chills right now. Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that too, because sometimes it's so hard to put into words these massive awakenings we have. And it's so important that we try to put it into words to share it with everyone because so many people go through similar experiences and they just, like you said, they don't know what's going on. They end up in the hospital, they think they're crazy. So that is so powerful. Wow. Wow. And to share your journey through motherhood too is such a gift. Wow. And so
Yeah.
your work now, wow. And and for the poems that you have coming out in Poems from the Heart, what is the nature of your poetry?
My poetry piece for Poems from the Heart is actually a goddess, a African deity. Her name is Yemaya, and
Mm,
it's a part of the African diaspora from Nigeria that was brought over, during the slaves and the whole religion of Santeria Ifa,
mm,
which I am initiated in and is a big part of my life. And she's like my guardian angel,
mm,
come to find out. And she's a profound mother figure. And she comes from the water. All life comes from water.
mm.
So they say that Yemaya has as many children as there are fish in the sea. So pretty much everybody. There's
Wow.
no life without water. There's water in the womb where we come from. We can't go more than a few days without water. Um, and it's just really what she's done for me and transforming my life and having this connection with this deity, with this what the correct term would be, Orisha,
Mm,
with her and coming to an understanding of what she symbolizes in my life and also for my kids and helping to guide me and having like that type of a spiritual mother figure, especially in the absence of not having the best relationship with my earthly mother.
mhm.
So it's a little about that and who she is, who Yemaya is, what she does for us.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm just only a little bit familiar with that goddess, and I can't wait to read your work and to reconnect with her, and especially as a mother myself. Thank you for sharing this.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. I think
Wow,
you'll like her.
beautiful. Yes. Is she related to, I see people may refer to her as the mermaid goddess. She
Hmm.
depicted as a mermaid. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, very often depicted as a mermaid. Yes.
Amazing. Oh, I'm so excited. Wow. And what has your experience been like working with Radhaa and Radhaa Publishing House?
That is amazing. Let me
Mhm.
tell you. Um, she came to me, I want to say sometime in 2018. She just started following me randomly on Instagram and would like something here and there or would make a little comment here and there. I never thought anything of it, but I did follow her back and I
Mhm.
thought the stuff that she did was really cool. And one day she just messaged me, "Hey, do you want to be a part of our book? And I think that you would be really great." And I was like, "Me? What is me? Like, what's so special? What's so special going on in my life that, like that that she sees or that the world should see that I
Oh.
can or should share?" And at the time, I was like, is this for real? Like you get really skeptical about something. And something just told me, do it. And I
Mhm.
did it and we connected. And ever since then, it's been really great. I remember one time, she did a really beautiful session with me, like for healing and like letting go of like with childhood trauma and
Mhm.
things that I had with my mother, as mentioned earlier. And it was very transformational. She's amazing, even outside of the publishing work that she does. Just her as a woman, she's phenomenal. I love her.
Yes. Amazing. I do too. Yes. Everything you're saying. She's such a powerhouse and just a beautiful soul. And she's able to bring all these people together, which is just so beautiful. And it's symbolic, these collaborative books. It is what we're meant to be doing on earth is coming together, working together, sharing the same breath, but we're different voices. So, wow, excited. Wonderful to hear. And again, I'm so excited to be a part of the book with you.
Me too. So I'm gonna give you a little interview now too. I gotta
Love
ask you
it.
some questions. I'm so interested. So how you're gonna be in the Poems from the Heart book alongside, okay, with me. Okay, and
Yes.
you have one or two submissions.
I have two poems that I'm sharing. One of them, back in November of 2022, was the first time I was pregnant and I had a miscarriage. And it was
Oh,
so devastating. It was another dark night of the soul that I experienced. And the only way I could work through it was through poetry. And I just found like my mind was just speaking in poems. And I was just writing on my laptop, writing in my phone, just all of these different, and just had to get it out there and make sense of it. And I ended up during that time, right when I had the miscarriage, I was enrolled in a 12-day online initiation with other medicine women and priestesses called Medicine of the Womb. And just as I had the miscarriage, I was a part of Medicine of the Womb, and it was so powerful. I knew, I've
oh,
got someone looking out for me because I really needed support during that time. And so I know that in the grand scheme of things, this miscarriage was my initiation into priestesshood because I began healing my womb with herbs and things like yoni steaming, yoni gems, breath work, yoni scents, and connecting with different goddesses. And I fully devoted myself to my priestess path, which I had been ignoring or not fully embracing as my true calling. And so my first poem is about the devastation of the miscarriage and how I found the priestess. The priestesses helped me get through it and connect to my lineage. And then 2 months later, I ended up getting pregnant again. And yes, and it was like so exciting, but the anxiety and the fears, it was such a crazy emotional ride because I was so excited and grateful, but then I was so terrified that it was going to happen again.
oh no,
And
yeah.
and it was this feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I was afraid to embrace being so happy because I was terrified it was going to be taken from me again. And
Oh,
working through that fear was such a powerful place for me to be, to burst into my heart and move past my fears and embrace motherhood, embrace myself as the pregnant goddess and have full trust and faith in the universe. And and then my second poem is about the early days of motherhood when
my hairs are standing up. I'm sorry.
uh
Gosh, I
it
get emotional, but
well, yeah, it was
wow.
a crazy 18 months of my life. It really was. And yeah, the second poem I wrote just at like 4 a.m., just with my new baby, rocking her to sleep. And I'm so tired and I've been on my feet all day, but it's like that sweetness and tenderness of knowing that it's just her and I and nothing else matters.
Yes,
And it's that
yes, the
beauty of
best.
those tired moments where it's just her and I don't have to share her with anyone. And and yeah, it's the tenderness and sweetness of the early days of motherhood.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. And then time goes by so fast. Mine are 12 and 9 now. So
Wow.
just cherish every second of it,
Mhm.
and everything that that baby does. It's
It's so
beautiful.
wild. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. My hairs just stand up. I had to rub them to go back down.
That's how I
Oh
felt
my
when you
gosh.
were speaking as well. So I'm so happy we're sharing our experiences because so many people go through these experiences too. And
You
it's nice to be
know,
able to connect.
I think Radha knows on purpose who she's connecting together. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
she knows. I think she knows. And you know what? I love it. I love it. I'm
Yes.
I'm so
She's
happy.
so good at that. It's at connecting. And I found Radha, when was it? Over the summer. I saw she was on another woman. She's a priestess. She lives in the area and she was doing this online event and she interviewed Radha for one of the interviews and I just like felt so connected to her. I really was excited to reach out to her and I had just published a book a couple months prior to that. So I was excited to speak with her about her publishing company and her and I just completely hit it off. We talked for I think over an hour the first time, just getting to know each other and, sharing our experiences, sharing our work. And she thought she's like, I want you to be a part of this project. And I just love connecting with her. I love speaking with her. She's such a beautiful woman and such a powerhouse. I love the way that she runs her business and connects everyone and brings out the best in everyone. She's so encouraging for writers and for artists, which is so important because I think a lot of time people that are artists or writers, they might not have, they might not know how to go about getting their work out there or know what it takes. And it's really beautiful to have someone come into their lives and help guide them through that process.
Yeah, or oftentimes maybe they don't even know. I had no idea that I would be able to write something that was so profound and that can impact other people and let them know that they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones. I would love to one day be able to take it another level and have like groups and things for women that can come together and heal from those type of traumas and those things and know that they're going to be all right. And there's that, maybe like in your situation, the rainbow baby to come,
Mm.
the any of that, life is going to go on, and there's always going to be the sunlight is going to come out, and it's going to be
Yeah.
okay. And a lot of
Yes.
women don't see past that. It's hard, and I know that I was there at one moment in time. So
Absolutely. Yes. We need our sisterhoods and our community to uplift us when things feel so dark and so heavy. And that's where the, poetry and the magic and creativity, it's born from those places of darkness. We're just riding the waves of life. And if we don't turn it into art, then what are we even doing here?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think in one of our writing workshops, I wrote something about, she would give us little word prompts, and I wrote something about darkness.
Mm.
And so that sticks out to me that you say that. But I think a lot of
Mhm.
things come from the dark, the universe, the womb, the
Yes.
ground for plants. They're all dark places. So
Yes.
the dark is
Beautiful.
definitely something to be embraced, to not
Yeah.
be afraid of it.
I
So that's
love that.
your first submission. What is your second one about?
The second one is the early days of motherhood.
The early days. Okay, you didn't mention that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The first one is about my miscarriage, and towards the end, that's where I share that I'm pregnant again and working through it. And then the second one leads into the early days of motherhood.
Oh, good. I'm glad you did that, because I think if you left it at one, I'd have anxiety of wanting to know what
Like
happens
what
next.
happens? Oh,
That's great. Okay.
yes.
Oh my
So
gosh.
excited to be a part of this with you and with everyone and to be a part of Radhaa Publishing House. It's such a beautiful place to be. And yes, I'm looking forward to all the exciting things to come.
Me too. Me too. It's great
Wonderful.
to work with great people that have such different walks of life. And I'm looking
Yes.
forward to meeting and speaking with and having interviews with more of our fellow authors. Like I feel like it's
Yeah.
the little star tribe coming together.
Yes, I love it. Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, it was so great to speak with you and finally meet you face to face, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
Me as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love. Take care.